Hey everybody, welcome to an Habitat Now as we talk about the upcoming Summer Masterworks auction. This is our 46th auction happening this Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on both our Masterworks site and on Live Auctioneers. We want to advise people to bid and win work on the Masterworks site. You save some money, has better information there, and we can reach out to you through the site and even set up shipping. So if you haven't been to the site, go to habitat.com, go to the very top, click on Masterworks, or go to habitatauctions.com, and you'll see these 53 works. It says 52 everywhere, but we added one more at the end. So just count along with us as we go. I'm joined today by Habitat's founder, Ferdinand Hampson. He'll be talking about some of the works today too. Hi, Ferd. Welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So
Always
without
a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And so without further ado, I'm going to take over the screen and start going through some of the auction. So you can see the auction here on our Masterworks site. It's at habitatauctions.com or on the top of our website, which I'll show you real quick. Habitat.com. The very top of our website up here, you close this bar, has a view auctions button you'll just see and go right to that page. For this auction, we're going to be looking through the live auctioneers version of it just because it's easy to click through and see the artwork. So we'll start. The first piece up for auction for it is a Chihuly edition, I believe. It says PP like '08 or something written on it. Let me see what it says. PP 98. So is this an early edition, would you think?
Yes. Yeah, it's an early one from the Portland Press when they called it Portland Press. But it's a larger piece from the series that they've been doing. Yeah, and very beautiful thin walls and a lot of line work on it.
Yeah, this piece was sold by you back in the day to some local collectors, and it does include the plexiglass base and topper for it, which is nice to see the full piece. So this will find a home. Everybody loves Dale Chihuly at auction, which is kind of fun. So this is kind of an interesting piece. We've sold pieces by Dino Rossini in the past, but this is probably the largest one. I've did some research on this work and seeing the artist are these other examples that have gone to auction. And the Kiss particular piece, which is large, it probably weighs about 80 pounds, 60, 80 pounds, is
Wow.
one of his most popular in the series. Signed by the artist, and it's just a beautiful piece. You can see 360s of these pieces, at least most of them on the Masterworks site, so check that out. We will kick over to the next one. Ferd, do you want to talk about Kit Carbler, Michael David?
Sure. They started out working in clear glass and they worked in Colorado. And this particular piece is really quite beautiful because it's colorful. And all this was a vessel one time, very thick glass, and then carved away to reveal the windows looking through it.
That's great to know. I never knew they made these fully and cut them and did all that cold work. It must have been a labor of love. And they're quite known for these style of colorful glass pieces. And this is one of the nicest ones I've seen.
Yeah.
Our friend Richard Marquis made a lot of teapots, exploring different tones of Meridian color over the years. And these are always great at auction. Fun, wonderful pieces that are an important cornerstone for any collection. And you'll see some of these go to auction. Some are more elaborate than others. This is one of the more elaborate ones I've seen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it shows that it's a little later in the series. And to quote Catherine uh, Tung Young from Venice, who is a dealer for many artists that work with Marini, she said that she felt that Richard Mark was the best of anyone, and that includes all those great artists in Murano and Venice,
Hmm,
at working with canes.
that's great to hear. Good fun
Yeah,
fact, Fred. Thanks.
beautiful piece. Yeah.
All right, we'll kick over to a really exciting work by our friend Martin Blank. This shimmer sculpture is quite large. I'll scroll down at 39 inches, almost 40 inches wide. Each little, I guess, petal has been hot fused together. El Como, I believe it's called, and creating this large sculpture. And a lot of times people come in to the galleries to find wider work, and it's hard to find wide pieces sometimes, unless you're buying an expensive lino, which are always incredible for like dining room tables so you can see over and talk to each other. And this particular work would fit that category. Martin's an incredible artist, a student of Chihuly, and a friend of the gallery. So we have two Michael Barron's sculptures in this auction. Both of them are quite different. This one is yellow and pink. The other one is orange. You'll see later. Michael comes to auction pretty rarely, and his work is about his exploration of water and nature. He was a scuba diver traveling the world. He's also recently traveled the world with a camera and his family doing I guess, a sabbatical of photographs for another art show down the road and to build more inspiration. But he is a student of artist Peter Bremers and one of our best sellers in the gallery. This is a great opportunity to get a piece at a great price. Ferd, you want to take this one, our old friend Herb?
Yeah, this is a very old example of Herb Babcock, who has gone on to work on large scale sculptures and multimedia. But prior to that, he did a series of vessels. This one's opaque, which is very rare. I don't recall seeing many at all. A beautiful example of a very early piece.
Yeah, definitely a museum quality uh, work by the artist, and I'm a big fan of this piece. Again, probably sold from Habitat because the artist is located here in Michigan. Sonia Blumenthal, a well-known artist we've sold over the years, well known for her form and her El Como of putting two hot pieces of glass together. This is a great sculpture by the artist. It's quite large at 14 inches tall. So she does some works that are more bulbous. This one's more elegant in appearance, and it's a very, I would say, one of the nicer ones we've had in the gallery come through at auction.
I have a piece of hers, and it's almost exactly like this in form. The color is different, but
Ah,
yeah,
good to
beautiful
know.
pieces.
Someone we don't really know much about, someone named Eros Raphael, obviously Italian. I've seen his work come up for auction in the past, and it's sold for high amounts of money. So someone who really knows the artist and wants to get a really good deal, this would be a great opportunity to acquire this magical piece. You can see this work also in 360s on the Masterworks site. I would show that here, but for some reason the audio plays, and I don't want to run all that audio. But I'll kick over maybe in the middle to show the Masterworks site. But it's great to see these works in the ground. There are three Paul Stankard works in this auction, all from the Belkin collection and Michael and Annie Belkin. All three are different. They incorporate a lot of the things that Paul Stankard's well known for, besides the incredible botanicals that look incredibly real. Some of them incorporate bugs and spiders and earth spirits. He's well known for his bees. I don't think any of the bees are in these works, but I know there's dragonflies and bugs. So make sure you see the work in the 360. You can see a dragonfly right here if I zoom in, the root people down below. Each one of these works is really a treasure if you are looking for an important work by one of the probably the best paperweight maker in the world.
And the Belkins had a special relationship with Paul Stankard, and they were able to. They had actually Mike Belkin gave him money every January, and so that he could get very fine examples of his work through the years. And he ultimately collected the largest body of work of Paul Stankard's ever assembled.
Great. Our friend Deanna Clayton, well known for her vessel forms as well as her current figurative work, which she's making now. We do a lot of commissions for her. She is an incredible talent. We're presenting her for probably well over 30 years. And this is probably one of the nicer examples of tone and color that I've seen come to auction. If you love blue, you're looking for Deanna Clayton, I would definitely fight for this piece at auction. It is about 13.5 inches wide, so not insanely big, but perfect for you. Our friend Robin Greeby, who has stopped working and since retired, as far as I know, last time we talked. These works are incredible. She put her heart and soul into every piece. Ferd, once you say you had exhibitions with her in her heyday.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. She's an extremely talented artist, but she always made very few pieces. So it was very difficult to get an exhibition. And we personally, Kathy and I have, I believe, four of her works
Hmm.
and really, really enjoy them. This I had an opportunity to see quite recently, and it's a really beautiful example of her work.
Yeah, this one mounts to the wall and it's about almost 37, almost 38 inches tall.
Yeah.
Really, really exquisite work. Howard Bentray. This is a massive bench by Howard Bentray. It includes its own crate for shipping purposes, which is very convenient, and a museum quality piece. We are excited about having this in the auction. The price on it is ridiculously low. What'd you say, Ferd?
Well, absolutely. And he would do a series of work, and he might take 5 years working on that particular series. And in that series, he would do perhaps two benches that would show it kind of relate to the whole series. And so this is one of those. Almost all of them are in museums. This is
Mhm.
kind of a rare piece that's not. And so maybe eventually it will be, but also be a wonderful piece for a private collection.
That's a good assumption for it. I would assume it would be too. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing about Howard. Very, very old work. I've never seen one like this, Ferd, by Richard Marquis. Have you?
No.
Yes, it must have been very old. This is probably dated 1972, so very early museum quality work by Richard, the same artist that did the teapots later in life. The teapot was dated 99. This is 72, so you're getting a glimpse in the past and the future of the artist.
Yeah.
All right. Gwen Knight. This is a very fun work by an artist we don't know much about, but it is just it reflects upon the sea forms and tones and color made out of glass, and it's quite large at about 12 by 15 inches. Something that you should think about collecting as a new collector, someone who we don't quite know in the gallery, but someone that our someone in our collection of collectors has collected. So very cool, kind of Chihuly-esque, but not really celebrating the sea. Another artist that we show in the gallery is John Wood, who's a big fan of the work of Stanislav Levinsky and Yaroslava Baktrova. This is an early piece he made as a probably a student trying to learn the casting process with thicker glass. An early work by the artist. You can see his other pieces, and he's still working today, and it's great to have a piece of his in the auction. This is our first time offering a work by Neil Resi Raskow, who is an artist that works in layers of glass and in granite and other mixed media. We have shown him in the gallery in the past. It's been a while though, and this work is quite interesting when you start peering through the layers of glass and internal structure starts to show up. And if you've seen his newer works, he's worked on incredibly large scales and made lots of large scale sculptures. But this one is a smaller example at 13, almost 14 inches tall. It is unsigned. We couldn't find a signature on it, but it is definitely by the artist. I think there's two Alex Bernsteins in this auction, and Alex is one of the hardest working people in the glass business to this day, and we still do really well with him and his work. We have an upcoming show in September, so stay tuned for that. We'll be putting promotion out for that very soon of his newer work. But there's always a time and place for some of his older pieces to be placed in collections, and this particular work is 23 inches tall, so it looks smaller than it is, almost 2 feet big, 2 feet in height, and it's carved and fixed with the process he calls bernsteining, which is fusing steel to glass while the glass is cold. Little pieces of flakes of metal embed themselves into the glass. It's kind of fun. You can see him do it on Instagram. This is a great piece if you're a fan of the artist.
Yeah.
Always great. So there's three William Morris sculptures in this auction. It's probably the focal point of this auction overall. Three different bodies of work. And this one is probably the nicest petroglyph vessel I've seen, especially one that comes out to auction. So this particular piece was purchased by a big collector in Michigan and gifted, I believe, to one of her relatives. And it has this incredible tones of bluish turquoise and gold and red interior with a, you can see kind of his experience with Chihuly with the blue lip wrap. And I found this one to be absolutely stunning. And
It really is. Yeah. It has some literal images on it, the horse and a couple of horses on the front here.
yeah, and a couple
And
on the back, it looks like
yeah,
too.
it's really a beautiful, beautiful example of his work.
I agree. It's almost 20 inches tall, 18 inches wide. And you can see a video. There are video links here, I believe, as well, but you can also see them by going to their site. But we're happy to have this one in the auction. Someone's going to take home a real treasure.
Yeah.
Then we kick into another one by William Morris. This is a newer piece that was sold by the gallery, and the estate has since been selling it. A very large corn vessel called Marzica Urn from 2013. Um, This thing is 41 inches tall, 8 by 8, a museum quality piece. It is signed by the artist. I have to put the signature up still. And there's a video of it we put up on the other MasterWorks site. But it is a museum quality masterpiece by the artist. And I know there's other vessels and urns out there, but this is probably one of the best I've ever seen come to auction.
This is the the title of it is relates to corn, and you can see in the imagery here that it has kind of a corn feeling.
Right, like a relic of corn, like you would see in a when you're digging for treasure from past society. It's how all his work kind of is, but it is a very beautiful work. Thank you for jumping back in time again. An older Richard Ritter sculpture. This one's 4.75 by 5.5. It is very fun to see these works come up for auction because someone enjoyed these works for a lifetime, and now it's time for someone else to enjoy them. You can see this fun Marini in the bottom of this vessel and this carved exterior.
Yeah, very early. Actually, it's a precursor to a whole series of platters that he did with the canes. And yeah, really quite a wonderful piece.
Yeah, true historic treasure. It's nice to fill in the narrative for people that weren't collecting at this time, coming back to availability. This is someone I don't really know very well, Archimedes Seguso. Apparently, there's a big demand for the work, and people come all over trying to find these sculptures. It is stickered on the front with his label that you can see right there. Hot sculpted with probably gold foil or gold blown object right there, gold foil inside of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure someone will snap this piece up who really appreciates the work of Archimedes Seguso. This is a fun one. This is a multi-part piece by artist Susan Taylor Glasgow. It has, I believe it's called Little Mermaid Dreams. Bigger sculpture, has all these figures in front of it celebrating femininity and everything in the world of the creative mind of the Little Mermaid. And it just an idea of scale. It's 25.5 tall by I would say it's bigger than 12 wide, probably 25 wide. It's quite large in scale and size. Something really impressive and will light up your room if you decide to acquire it. Very low reserve on this and looking to find a home. Nancy Callan is an important artist pushing the work art and glass today. She has a big show in Tacoma that was up recently, or if not still up, celebrating her life, career, and work. And this
Yeah.
large Aquaman sculpture is 28 inches tall and free sits, free stands, and it just shows her capability of working with large amounts of glass and fun colors too. And if you have ever seen her work in person, you definitely should because this work could be for you. Colin Reed, another artist we've been representing here at Gallery for well over 30 years, working in the UK. He has a few different bodies of work. This is an earlier series focusing on the optics of glass. And I believe this work has different parts of like a violin. You can kind of see the swirly aspects of the violin handle or violin or instrument aspects inside of it reflecting through it. And if you flip it around to the back, you can kind of see it being pushed into the mold during the casting process. Very
And
exciting piece.
yeah, it is because he uses it, and you really, when you first look at it, it gives you a feeling of the sea uh, with the waves coming in, and then you look closer and you see the violin elements, and I think he intended to do that. Colin Reed, excuse me, has emerged as being the number one artist working in the UK.
Yeah. And he's still pushing the medium, making incredible pieces. I'm hoping to get some more in our gallery soon. This is your chance to get one at a great price.
Yeah.
Tom Schoon is someone you've shown for a long time here at the gallery years ago, and we're showing him again now, but there's an opportunity for someone to get one on the secondary market. And this work assembles as multi-pieces, and it has that real gritty granite tone because it's a mixture of glass and stone, creating humanoid figures he's so well known for. This is a really impressive and large Benjamin Moore sculpture at almost 30 inches wide. We have seen works that are maybe 13 to 18 inches, maybe 24, but almost at 30 inches, it's quite a substantial work by the late Benjamin Moore. He's well known for this technique, oftentimes putting cylinders next to these particular sculptures, but I suspect since this work was so large and probably a testament of his talent, it did not come with a cylinder, which is how the artist wanted it. And it is signed. More videos to see. Some historic Mark Pisers. So Mark's been working with glass, I'd say forever, Ferd, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, forever and one day.
Ever in one day.
These are when I was first introduced to Mark Pfizer, he was creating these pieces. They're delicate, small. They are different than anything I had seen. And now there's people who are just collecting these very simple, elegant vessels.
There was two of them at the auction. They're definitely
I saw.
older from the oldest series I've ever seen. But every now and then they pop up. I often see them in museums telling the history of studio glass. This one was one of them was made earlier than the other one, but they're both from the same kind of body of work. This one dates back all the way to 1970. These were acquired by a client locally in Michigan. We picked them up and she enjoyed them for her lifetime, and now the estate is selling them. So a great opportunity to get some historic works by Mark Pizer, especially if you have later work. Vincent Olmsted, someone I don't really know much about. It was purchased locally here at a different art gallery in Michigan back in the day, but this work has some incredible detailed carving on it. The closer you get to it, the more the visuals start to appear. This is like a narrative on this particular work. It's called The Keeper of Time. And as you slowly explore around the outside of the piece, you'll see these kind of hidden narrative or obelisk or messages, carvings on the outside of the sculpture, which is really interesting unless you see it up close. It took me, I didn't even notice these drawings until I started taking the photos of the work. Like there's a house here and different symbolism. So I've seen a couple of these come to auction, but I don't really see the close-up shots. So it's fun to have one here to see who is looking for a work like this. One that brings you in more. Here's our second pulse tankard, another Earth Spirit. I'm trying to zoom around it a little bit to give you a glimpse close up of the talent of the artist. You can see a lot of the foliage and different visuals, different plants. Everything is based off a real plant too. He doesn't make up plants in this body of work. And in the bottom, he's got hidden Earth spirits. And you can see the ant down here at the bottom hanging out. So much
Yeah,
to see in his pieces, which are so fun. Richard Mole, someone new to the gallery. It's nice to see new artists pop up down in our auctions. This is a very large and substantial uh, cast vessel. It's
mm,
21 by 21. The previous collector owned this work for years and wanted to change up the design of their room and gave it to us to offer at auction. I suspect they found something else at Habatat and got excited about it, and this came to us. But someone else will enjoy this. It's a very subtle piece, it has lots of incredible tones to it. And at that scale, very substantial nonetheless.
a
And it
lot
is
of
signed by the
carving,
artist.
isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of carving
On
to
the
the outside of
surface.
it.
That's really quite an intriguing piece. You don't see a whole lot of cast vessels.
Yeah, that's true, especially ones at that scale. All right. A fun work by our friend Toland Sand. Early in his career, he had a lot of fun. I've seen totems, I've seen giant pillars, I've seen stacks of glass, and some are more enjoyable than others. And this one I really do enjoy. It's a multiple optical glass sculpture by Toland Sand, who is currently working on a new body of work called his OLED series. And as you explore this piece, the color changes as it moves around. I highly advise seeing the 360. Maybe we'll check it out soon. But at 21 and a half inches tall, it's pretty fun to see a sculpture like this come to auction.
Yeah.
Our friend Sydney Hutter. Every now and then we get a true treasure like this at auction, a multicolored, layered vessel. I think some of his best work is when he starts playing with many, many colors in his sculptures. They kind of lighten up the room. And he's been doing this style for a long, long time. And there's a piece for everybody depending on your taste. I figured having a multicolored piece would be great for this auction. And if you're looking for a Sydney Hutter, this would be the one for you because I don't see many like this come up.
Is this a smaller one in
Yeah,
the series?
it's a 12.5 inches tall.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Yeah.
a smaller version of his work. It can go almost anywhere.
Beautiful use of color.
Yeah, it's nice to see him play around with these. And it is signed. So for those of you who love birds, Habitat friend Shane Farrow has been creating these birds for years and years and years and years and years. And I have a collaboration with artist Dean Allison that has one of these on the shoulder that I got years ago. But this particular collection of these three is someone enjoyed and now you get a chance to enjoy them. They are entirely glass. At first, I thought the feet were metal, but when I picked up the piece recently, because someone wanted to come see them at the gallery in preview for this auction, they are entirely glass. Each one's its own characteristic. You can name all three. You can have fun with them. They're great little creatures. Someone I don't know much, but I've seen all over online the Hawthorne series sculptures. I've been
Yeah.
told this is not an Orient and Flume sculpture, but I don't know what else to call it now, so I'm going to leave it like that until I can figure out what it's exactly called. Large vessel. This thing is 19 inches tall, and it is quite a stunning work.
Where did yeah, I looked at this and questioned Orient and Flume.
Yeah.
Um, how did that come about? Did the collector feel that that was
The
the
collector
name
felt
of
that it was
that?
the name of the series, but looking at the actual Orient Flume pieces, it doesn't match up entirely. So I'm probably just
Yeah,
going to modify that for the auction and just say Hawthorne vase.
yeah,
But at $200 starting price for a 19-inch vessel, it's a great sculpture to add to one's collection if you're looking for something just for decoration.
yeah. Mhm.
So this Vernon Brenshaw, how you pronounce that? Brenshaw?
Vernon Brejka.
Brechka. I had a chance
Yeah,
to meet him in my lifetime as well. This is his Dipper series. Let me go back. Go back. And it's a long, wide Dipper.
yeah. You know how that came about? He was raised on a farm, and they didn't have water or indoor plumbing at all, and they had a hanging. Uh, I don't know what exactly you call it, but like and he said you'd break the ice on the barrel and then take a scoop of water with this
Mm.
hanging. Um, it's a simple name,
Apparatus, we'll call it that.
apparatus. Okay,
Right.
fine, and uh, uh, and that's inspired this series, which has been something ongoing for probably 3 decades or
Yeah, and
more.
I've seen these too. This is one of the nicer ones I've seen with the color tones and the
Yeah,
scale at 20 inches wide. Another artist who represented over the years, Ethan Stern, master of blowing and carving. Usually his works that are more colorful than this, but this is kind of a really nice, subtle sculpture showing off his talent. Um, and let's check the size of it. It's 26 inches wide. It is a important work by the artist.
yeah.
And you can see both sides are totally different in appearance and in textures. So this is a very early work by artist Leah Wingfield, celebrating, I suspect, femininity, hence it's called the feminine vessel.
Yeah.
Each side of it has its own little creative, I guess, female symbol of sorts, but it is just a impressive work by the artist. You can kind of see where her works develop from her different bodies over the years. This is
Yeah,
definitely one of the earliest.
she's always been an impressive artist, and seeing this piece, which was very early on, but still has the sophistication, the carving. She's a major talent, still working today, of course.
Of course. Here is the other Michael Barron's work. This one is a little bit larger, starting at 22 and a half inches tall. Master of the kiln cast glass process. As you walk around the piece, it really changes in appearance because the translucency and the colors really just make you feel like you're underwater. This is probably one of the most substantial ones I've seen come to auction, and it is signed by the artist. And if you're looking for a great deal of Michael Barron's, this is another great piece to look at. Another interesting work by an artist we're not too familiar with named Beate Enten, I believe is as a Swedish artist, and a collector of ours traveled and picked this work up and has since revamped their collection as offering. It's called the Life Vessel, and you can kind of see the different tones of earth in this green Gaia-like sculpture. And it's very, very thick, but very, not too big in scale. It's 6 inches tall, 7.5 inches wide. Kind of reminds me of the Temple of Doom, trying to find the treasures you at the end of the quest. This would be the thing that would hold it. So that's something fun to have in our auction. To early work by our longtime friend here at Habitat, Brent Key Young, who now and for decades has been working with lampwork glass.
Yeah.
Early on, you'd see his vessel forms. He had a whole series of fossil series that I'm a big fan of. But it's fun to see kind of early sculptures where his tone and technology came from.
Yeah, these are the precursor to those the fossil series. And I kept looking for imagery in it. And you do see what appears to be images, sometimes like human forms. And I don't know if he was just looking for the design or he was trying to make abstract forms based on uh, human forms.
Yep, I see that too in a way.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Judy Hill is someone I met in my early career at one of the gas conferences. Had a chance to learn a little bit about her work and her career. And we never had an opportunity to show her work at the gallery since I've been there. Have you ever shown her work at the gallery, Ferd?
No, she
No.
never made enough to really uh, give us a body of work.
Hmm.
We'd offered her an exhibition, but she just could not do it. So,
Gotcha. So here we are offering a work on the secondary market, a single figure sitting on a box cast, just called Torso, and 9 inches tall, and a half, quarter inches tall. Just a nice historic work by the artist, someone special who's been passing through, and I had a chance to meet in my younger years. It's nice to see her work in real life. So here's a passage boat by artist Bertha Valine. People have asked me if this is an edition or a unique piece. I believe it's a Costa Boda edition piece. What's unique about this particular one is the stand. I've never seen a Costa Boda piece in addition in one of these freestanding string-like stands. They usually have floor base that are mounted or they mount to a wall. They're mounted on something that doesn't include a stand like this one. But this one also has a lot of the visuals that the artist is well known for, including the ladders, the humanoids, and just the overall is it's a really nice sculpture signed by the artist.
yeah. What makes you feel that it is an addition? Because I would assume it's a unique piece.
It says Costa Boda and one of his code numbers next to it
Yeah. No,
on
that
the
doesn't mean
it doesn't?
no.
Okay.
It can. They still made unique work, even if it was with Costa, especially for Valine.
Okay, good to know. So
Yeah.
make your own judgment there. I believe you over me. I'm just assuming. Thank you, Ferd.
Hmm.
A very substantial work by artists Jenny Pullman and Sabrina Knowles out of Seattle, who are working and creating today. We have a couple commissions with her going. They're well known for their um, world travels and making work that they're heavily inspired by. They do heads and spears that we have one more in the auction, but this is a freestanding vessel. A couple years ago, we had a vessel show in the gallery celebrating the vessel form, and I would have loved to incorporated this piece because of the detail on the bird itself, the wings, and the actual beating of the sculpture.
I
Just a
encourage anybody looking at this to blow it up and take a look at the details. They're just extraordinary, and most of their travel and inspiration was from African tribes, where they actually learned to do beading and develop some of the techniques they use to enhance what they do with glass. But this is a fabulous piece.
yeah, I even love the wings. It's just
Yeah.
very detailed, and it's quite substantial at 22 inches tall, so it has a real presence. So here's the other work by the artist, different body of work, Head and Spears. So this was owned by a collector in the Seattle area who and her husband bought the head together. And right afterwards, they commissioned the artist to make two spears to match the head. And so the client enjoyed it for years. It's probably one of the nicer ones I've seen because the tone is subtle enough where it doesn't dominate and it has so much fun with the hair and the two spears that go along with it. Has
And
these
the
earrings,
spears, the whole length of the spears, that's all glass. That's
all
pretty
glass.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And the
I'm
details.
big
Yeah.
fans of this work, big fans of theirs. And it's amazing to have a work like this at auction. If you're looking for a really important work by Jenny Pullman and Sabrina Knowles, this would be it.
Hmm.
A fun work by our friend Richard Jolly. I saw one of these come to auction recently and sell, so I'm happy to be able to offer one in this auction. He was doing these blue line sculptures. He's did figure ticket work also, you'll see in the next slide or two. This is wall mounted. Just a fun work celebrating the creativity of the artist from the body of work at the time. Kind of see the different depth of the fish and free hangs on this metal rod that's mounted to the glass, made in '88. Here's a fun work by artist Robert Mickelson. I actually sent him a picture of this to confirm it was his. And he did, in fact, create this lizard art sculpture. We have a big body of work of his right now in the gallery from his newest Blender series. But this goes to show his talent. That topper actually does come out of the vessel form, but it's so fun to see how he can make something so detailed out of glass. This was a long time ago. And it's always fun to remind them, this was 95, of work they've done in the past. It's fun to reach out after and see these historic works. People can enjoy them themselves. Here's the other line rotting by our friend Richard Jolly. These are done really well at auction, celebrating the female nude. There's supposed to be more pictures of this piece up here. I guess I didn't get them all up here. I'll have to do that. You can see the back
The,
of it. It's freestanding, just like this. Efford?
yeah, these at the time were one of the pieces that were made in glass that actually commanded attention from the fine art community.
Hmm.
And it was because his drawings were really, really very nice, very simple, but very elegant. And he used the shape and form of the glass to determine how he was going to do his line work. And this is a beautiful example of that era.
Yeah, I'll show you on the other auction site. I pulled it up real quick. The back of the work and where it's signed. Reclining female nude 87. And if I could, his videos, I'll show you one of them just because we're in the middle of the video here. And it will play. I can click on YouTube just to turn the audio off. There are slowly rotating videos of most pieces on the MasterWorks site. So you can get an idea of the coloring and the depth of each sculpture. So you won't be, so you'll have a better idea of what you're going to be getting if you bid and when you win. They have to be about 30 seconds long to qualify for YouTube Shorts. So they're about that long each one. But it's fun to be able to incorporate this. And during the actual live bidding, they will also be played during the live bidding at the auction on Friday. Another one by our friend Paul Stankard. This one probably deserves a 360 video too. An older work of his cube series. Paul doesn't work in the cubes anymore. He continues on to work in his in the sphere type shape. And if you ever seen him create a work, it is magnificent. He has a documentary out right now showing a little bit more of his process and a little bit more about him. You got to see. I think they had it on Netflix to buy, but every work is a treasure, and it's amazing to see what he can do with the flame and the torch. And he's a teacher to so many and helps so much out in the Salem, I believe. No, is it in New Jersey? For where's
New
he at?
Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, New Jersey.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely a wonderful sculpture by our artist. I close this down and get this out of the way. Getting closer to the end here, Ferd. I appreciate you with us today. Here is
Sure.
another work by our friend Alex Bernstein in a larger scale. Let me zip it up. Freestanding green sculpture, just beautiful. Has this one is entirely glass. There is no metal on the sculpture, but that kind of adds the depth of the green. As you get to the corners of it, the tone starts to become brighter again because the thickness of the glass thins out, and you can see how thick it is from the side view. But it is really a true treasure by Alex Bernstein. So here's the biggest piece we have in our auction. This is an artifact still life by William Morris. This work was acquired from the artist directly years ago out of his private collection, and it's never been seen in public before. The seller has been enjoying it for all these years, incorporating 24 different pieces. It also has the original box that it came from with studio, and every piece is packed individually. So you're able to assemble it and set it up. I, however, did not do that. We just took pictures of the individual pieces so you can get a better idea of what is incorporated in this sculpture. You have one skull. It's just two sides of it, so you can get a grasp of it. This is the giant cone-like vessel that everything kind of sits and pours out of. Same piece, two views of it. And then we get into kind of the fun and detailed, what's the word? I guess the word would be the fossils that the artist incorporates in the sculpture. And there was, I think, it's 24, so it took a long time to get through the photographs of each individual object that shows you what makes up this entire presentation. Definitely
Yeah.
museum quality.
Every piece is really thought out and very interesting in itself. It's quite remarkable. I've never seen one this large.
Yeah, I have never seen one this large. I've never seen one come to auction this large. This
No.
would be like the highlight of an art show where you'd bring it to a show to bring people in the booth to look at our wares and other glass pieces.
Yeah.
But it is having all 24 in perfect condition. It's all packed up individually for safety purposes at all times. This was the original photo provided by the William Morris studio. Um, and I figured they'd be the best one to show the photo of versus me trying to set it up for this auction. But I figured there's somebody out there who loves William Morris's work. This would be the piece for you if you are looking for an important museum quality masterpiece by William Morris. All right, and here's the last piece in our auction, a fun historic work by artist Mark Pizer. This came in late and we're able to squeeze it into the auction. Subtle details on this body of work. This would have been something he would have made after the small series for, did you think?
This was made later on in this particular series called the Paperweight Vase series.
Hmm.
And I can tell because it's more minimal in design. As time went on, he became more interested in using symbolic imagery as opposed to real detailed types of imagery. And this piece is probably, I don't know, Aaron, what number is this?
280.
280. Okay. Yeah, it's very late in his work because he started labeling them one, two,
Right.
three. Yeah, and they're all radically different, but they're all from the same paperweight base series.
Yeah. So it's definitely a more subtle piece. I own a piece by Paul Stankert in my collection I got for my wife that's just sunflowers. And I love the simplicity of it. And I do have his other work as well, but just the simplicity of it sometimes draws people in. And it's great to have this work on our auction. So that
You said you meant Mark Pricer, right?
no, I meant Paul Stankard.
Oh, you did.
I have a Paul Stankard that's just sunflowers. And
Oh,
so
go. I
the
get you. Okay.
simplicity of it is something I was drawn to and I gifted to my wife who liked sunflowers. So some people who like that kind of simplicity of the work, this would be for you. So that wraps up the auction. Again, it's on habatat.com. Click on the Masterworks on top and you can register right there. You can view all the lots and place your bids today. It's a lot of fun to be able to incorporate some important works and some works for everybody in these live auctions. So live bidding happens on this Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can log on to the Masterworks auction site and bid live, or you can place your bids before. You can call me and place your bids. I'll take your silent bid and you can tell me your maximum bid. We bid up to and we stop. We also do some phone bidding if you want to do it that way. Call me at the gallery. It's aaronhabitat.com or the gallery line 248-554-0590. We are looking forward to seeing everybody this Friday for the auction. And thank you for today for joining me and talking about some of these fun treasures.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see everybody soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye.